So can everyone hear me okay? Just put a thumbs up if you're on your video. I think you can. So we're sitting in our chair, and I wanted to take a moment to just welcome you and thank Hadassah for sponsoring this. And happy Hanukkah to this crowd, because this is the Hadassah crowd. So happy Hanukkah, wishing you a season filled with light and love. And, in this crazy world we're in, we should all stay healthy and good. And so I wanted to say that. For those of you new to yoga, I just wanted to, first of all, introduce myself. So my name's Anita Greenwald. I am a lifetime member of Hadassah. Some of you might know my mom, Helga Ludin, or my sister, Heidi Greenbaum, a big Hadassah family from when I was growing up. And my kids were all young Judeans and still are. Actually, my daughter's working in Israel right now on year course. So Hadassah's in my blood. So I'm happy to do this. And when it comes to yoga, so I am 63 years old, and I've been doing yoga since I was 18 in college. And this 2020 year, as crazy as it was, I decided to become a yoga teacher. So in February, I graduated from yoga teacher training, and I just finished my chair yoga certification. I also became a health coach. So I changed careers. This is my third career. I was a recruiter. I worked for Jewish nonprofits for a long time as well. So here I am in my new career and happy to be offering this as a gift to you. So yoga is basically a philosophy. It's for everyone. Basically, yoga is a philosophy that gives you rules of living, and it's just about being kind and being good, and it's the mind-body connection. So yoga is a dance between strength and relaxation, and it's really about being in your body and knowing your body. And the poses, which are called asanas, are just one of the pieces of yoga. It's not a bigger piece, it just is one of the pieces. And also breath and breathing is one of the pieces. So we're going to start in a few moments with a little bit of breathing exercise. Yoga is, for me, about function and mobility, which is why chair yoga is so great. So if you practice, you will stand taller, your posture will be better. We are all of us, in front of screens, whether they be TV screens and binging Netflix or computers or phones, and we're all hunched over, and our heads are leaning forward. And yoga the time you spend in yoga is a time when you can realign your body. And practicing yoga can do that, can change people's bodies. So let's talk about today. The most important thing for me with you today is safety. So some of you, we're all human, and some of us have injuries. So I can't go into every injury, but you know your own body. So I'm going to tell you, no pain. If something feels like it's giving you pain, don't do it. Just come back to your seat and just wait till we get out of it. Nothing's going to be that long that you're going to miss anything. And just sit still through it. And if you were practicing off the chair, I would say the same thing, and I would tell people to go into child pose during it. I do know this: if you have osteoporosis or arthritis in the spine or the neck, you don't want to round your back and you don't want to round your neck. So be aware of that, because there are some postures that will round your back. So if that applies to you. If you have high blood pressure, you don't want to be raising your arms overhead. So whenever I raise my arms overhead, you want to keep them shoulder length, keep them on your hip, plant your hands on your hips. So if you have high blood pressure, if that's an issue for you, if just adjust for yourself, because I can't watch all of you. Some of you don't have your cameras on, and honestly, with Zoom, you're all in tiny little boxes, and my eyes are not the greatest. So basically I'm seeing shadows of those of you who do have your camera on. Let's talk about props for a moment. So let's start with the blanket or the towel or the throw blanket that you have. Sit in your chair, feet flat on the floor. Now, I have very long legs, but this chair has me high, and I am feeling like my hips are slightly higher than my knees. So I'm going to take my blanket, put it on the floor, And basically it's raising the floor just like an inch or two, which makes me feel like I've got a straight line between my hips and my knees. So if your knees feel lower than your hips, you want to do what I'm doing. Now, some of you may be the opposite, and some of you, or the chair is lower. Your knees could be your hips could be below your knees. If that's the case, take your blanket and put it on the seat of your chair so your hips are raised. That's what the blanket's for. So take a moment and just take a look and see how you feel and whether you need the blanket there or not. Just gonna move it a little bit closer. Okay. As I said earlier, we're gonna start with some breathing exercises, but first I wanna just get you set up in your chair. So your chair has a back, no arms. You're not leaning back so that your back could go onto the back of the chair. I want you away from the back of the chair. I am about I'm probably 2 fists. If I make a fist, 2 fists from the very back of my chair. So I don't want you on the edge because we want to be safe and we don't want you falling off, but so that your thighs are on the chair, but your back can't lean back without going backwards. You want your knees hip distance apart. So I've got 2 fists between my knees. You want your sits bones, so your tush on the chair where you can feel your bones of your tush on the chair. So if you have to take the flesh of your rear end and take it away so that you've got the bones into the chair, that's great. Make sure your rib cage is above your hips. Your shoulders are over your rib cage and your head is right smack in the middle. Here's the thing about our heads. Our heads weigh between 10 and 12 pounds. When we're looking at a phone and we're leaning over, if you're at a 30-degree angle, that head is 40 pounds. And so it's between 40 pounds and 12 pounds as you go down. So we want that head straight up on top of our shoulders. You don't want your shoulders up in your ears. You want your shoulders away from the ears. Hands are on your legs. Turn your palms up. Palms up in yoga just means you're ready to receive, you're grateful, and you're open. We're going to talk a lot about having an open heart. So let's just do a little bit of breathing. So we breathe all day and we don't really think about it. And most of us breathe very shallow breaths all day because we're not thinking about it. So for a second, if it's comfortable for you to close your eyes, close your eyes. If you'd rather just stare straight ahead, have a very soft gaze, but go inward and just notice your breath. Take a moment, notice your breath. You breathe all day long and we don't really think about it. In yoga, we breathe in and out through the nose. So what I want you to do is just notice as you breathe in, you're taking in cooler air. And as you breathe out, feel the tip of your nose or think about the tip of your nose, and your breath might be a little bit warmer as it leaves your body. Take your left hand and place it on your belly, and your right hand, place it on the center of your chest. What we're going to do is breathe in for the count of 4. So I want you to take a very deep breath, and I want your hands to feel the expansion. So first your chest is going to expand, and then your belly should go out just a little bit as you fill your lungs with fresh, clean air, and you're pushing everything out. And then we're going to breathe it out for the count of 4. And we'll do that 3 times. So you ready? Breathe in. 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathe it out. 4. First the belly goes in. 3, 2, 1. Then you'll feel the chest. Try it again. Breathe in. 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathe it out. 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. Breathe it in. Deep breath in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it for a second and let it out. 4, 3, 2, 1. The bottom of the lungs, that air, as we breathe shallowly all day, doesn't get a chance to expel and come out. We're breathing out toxins. We're breathing out old air that's sitting in there. Okay, let's start our warm up. We're going to start with some shoulder shrugs. So the first thing is bring your shoulders up to your ears, which is the thing we're not going to do during the postures, but we want to just feel our shoulders. So bring them all the way up, let it down. All the way up, let it down. And one more time, all the way up and let it down. As you inhale, let your chin come to your chest. Exhale, roll your ear to your shoulder on the right side. And inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, go to the left. Now don't bring your shoulder to your ear, just make sure you're bringing your ear to your shoulder. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, back to the right. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, come back to the right, to the left, I'm sorry. Inhale, come forward. Exhale to the right. Inhale, come forward. Head up straight. Let's take our shoulders and make some circles. So bring them forward and breathe as you do some shoulder circles. And then take it to go the other direction. Warming up the body. Okay, come to neutral. Take your right hand under your left and give yourself a hug. You know what? Bring your hands, you may have to switch your elbow direction. Bring your hands up to your shoulders and give your shoulders, your upper shoulders, a little bit of a squeeze. Take your hands out straight and switch the direction. So if the right hand was under, this time bring the left hand under and give yourself a hug. In yoga, we like to be even with the body. So if we do something on the right side, we have to do it on the left. Big hug, take a big breath, and then move those hands back up to your shoulders and give yourself another little squeeze up there. Open your chest wide and bring your hands straight out in front of you. Put your palms as if there was a wall straight in front of you and make your fingers, web your fingers as wide as you can. You want to bring your wrists a little bit back as you're doing this, as if literally you're pressing against a wall with your fingers really wide. Our hands need so much love these days. We're in front of computers, we're using our hands. Now claw your fingers. Make beaks with your fingers. See what a beak is like? You can actually use your thumb like that. And then make paws. So we want fists, as if you're ready to, your fists are against the wall. Take your wrists, just let your hands be loose and just twirl your hands around. Give your wrists a little bit of a, and then go the other direction, because if we go one direction, we have to go the other direction. Okay, and place your hands back down on your knees. A little bit of torso circle. So what that means is your hands are on your knees, and we're gonna, again with the breath, we're going to lean forward over the right knee as you inhale. Keep inhaling and go forward. And then you're gonna lean a little backwards in your chair, and as you go behind you, you're exhaling. So over the right knee, over the front, you're inhaling, and you're exhaling as you go over the back. This is all warming up. My yoga classes have we start with a warm up. Next, we'll be warming up the spine. Okay, when you come over to your left side, go in the opposite direction, and you're still inhaling as you go over the front, exhaling as you lean back. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, and then come center. And again, just look at your alignment. Make sure that your ribs are over your hips, your shoulders are over your ribs, and your head is in the center. So the spine moves in 7 directions, 6 plus lengthening. So I'm 5 3/4. I tell everyone I'm 5'6", but when we do this and take your arms overhead, unless you have high blood pressure, in which case you can leave it here and just follow the opposite directions and get tall. So yoga is rooting and rising. Your tush is feeling the resistance of the chair. Your feet are pressing into the floor if you can, and your rib cage and your spine are lifting. You're going to get taller. I hope I'm an inch taller right now. Take a deep breath in and out, and in and out. Take your hands down to the chair. Take your right hand and hold the side of the chair right by your hips. Take your left hand and bring it up over by your ear, and we're going to lean to the right. So you can let your right elbow bend. Now, take your left hand and hold your rib cage, and make sure as you're leaning, you can open up the chest. So we talk about an open heart and an open chest. What I don't want, and I can't see you, is for you to be leaning this way, leaning forward. You want to actually lean really to the side, and it might help to take your hand and hold on to your rib cage so you see that you're opening up. You don't even have to take a deep bend here. If it's only a little bit, it's better to take a little bit than fall forward. So do what you can and breathe. And as you inhale, take a deep breath. As you exhale, you want to see if you can go a little bit further. And you'll be feeling maybe a side stretch from the hip down the ribs and down the left side. Take the right hand and bring it up to meet the left. Let the left hand come down to the chair. And let's do the left, leaning towards the left side. And again, this time take the right hand, open up the rib cage, open up your chest, your heart. Your shoulders should be widespread. And you can either hold your hip, hold your rib, or come overhead. Deep breath, and come center with your hands up. Hands come onto your knees. Now, take your feet and slide them. And if you're on the blanket like I am, I don't know if you can see in the camera, I'm leaning down, my feet are flat on the floor, but I took the bend a little bit, less deep in my legs, and I put them out a little bit. We're gonna slide our hands down our legs for a forward bend. So here, you can round your back and just come down into a forward bend. So our spine goes in a forward direction. Let your head relax. You can lean your stomach on your thighs and slide your hands up. And this time, take your hands behind you. So in that space between you and the end of the chair, and look up. And depending on how flexible you are, and as long as it's safe for you, look up and see if you can give yourself just a little back bend. Keep your elbows as close together. So your elbows are bent, and actually you don't want to splay them out. You want to try to keep them close to where the body would be if it was in between. And come center. Take your right hand and put it behind you on the chair. And your left hand onto your right knee. As you inhale, just get tall. And as you exhale, see if you can turn your head, put your gaze over the edge of the chair, and do a little bit of a twist. While you're here and you inhale, as you inhale, get tall. And as you exhale, see if you can go a little bit further. Yoga happens to be the only, I don't even want to call it an exercise, but let's just say that for now, exercise that you twist in, which is so good for all your internal organs, and it's great for your vagus nerve. So just to let you know what the vagus nerve is, when we're stressed, we go into fight or flight mode. You all know what that feeling is to be stressed. The stress takes away all the blood supply and your body's digestion, the blood to the brain, because all of your nerves are going towards fight or flight. When the vagus nerve stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, which relaxes you. So we're massaging that vagus nerve now. Every time you inhale, get tall. Every time you exhale, so you can go a little further. And then cross your hands over the front of your body, and we're going to switch sides. So the left hand holds the chair, the right hand holds the knee. We're not twisting yet. First, we're inhaling, a deep inhale, get tall. Oops, hold the chair on top. And as you exhale, you go and twist towards the left. Inhale, get tall, exhale, left. Now you're gonna feel a difference on the sides. Cross your hands in the front and come to the front. There is a difference. Every day is different. So one day you could be doing something easily and the next day it doesn't feel that way. It's like minute to minute, and your right side and your left side are not gonna be the same. And that could be different day to day as well. So we're gonna be doing cat and cow. Put your hands on each knee individually. You can put your feet so that they're directly under your knees. So if you picture a cat and a cow, their backs are shaped in different ways. So inhale, and we're gonna first go into cow, which is your your head is looking up, you are arching your back. It's almost as if you're bringing your stomach forward and you're holding onto your knees. As we go into cat, you bring your belly button towards the spine and you round your back like a rainbow. Your chin comes down to your chest. So you inhale into cow and you exhale to cat. And just you can do that on your own a few times. And then come center. Hands are on your knees. Take your feet out a little bit further, maybe on past the blanket. Toes are pointed out. We're in goddess legs. With your right hand on your right knee, take your left arm and bring it up. If you have high blood pressure, you don't want to bring your arm up, you can just keep your arm here or put it behind you. We're doing a slight twist here. Breathe in and out, and then place the left hand on the left side, and we're just going to go to the other side. Okay. Your legs are out in front of you. We're just going to be warming up the legs for a minute. So take your legs and just point and flex them. You might want to pull them out a little bit, like away from you, just a drop, but point and flex them. Your feet, not your legs. Now, if you have a strap or a belt, take it now. Lift your right leg. Let's hug the knee to the chest. Keep your torso tall, and take the strap and put it over the ball of the foot. If you don't have a strap, hold the ball of the foot or hold the shin, and then take the leg out and just hold it wherever you can, whether it's the thigh or the knee. But if you have the strap, you want it at the ball of the foot, you're holding the strap with two hands. Make sure your hips are plugged into the chair and you're pulling that leg straight out. You're going to flex the foot and point the foot. Flex and point. Flex and point. And then come and bring the knee back to the chest. Sit up tall. And plant it down. And of course, we have to do the other side. So let's take the left leg and bring it up to the chest. If you don't have a strap, you're just going to hold onto your calf or your thigh. If you do have a strap, it's a great time now to just loop it around the ball of the foot, hold it with two hands, bring your foot straight out. Keep a micro bend. You're better off keeping a micro bend if you can't get the legs straight. Point and flex, point and flex, point and flex. Let go with the strap. Bring the knee to the chest. Plant it down. All right, we're going to get into our flow now. So I'll try to go slow. You're sitting about 2 fists away from the back of your chair, and we're going to do a sun salutation A. So bring your hands to your heart. So yoga, like I said, is always a dance between relaxation and strength. So right here, you would think you're all relaxed, but I want you to press your hands together and activate your arms. This is a great workout for your arms. You're pressing as if there were weights. Your feet are planted into the floor, so you're rooting and you're bringing with the inhale, you're bringing your spine tall as if there's a string coming from your head to the ceiling. Take your hands up, look up, touch the sun. And then bring your hands down to your knees. Take your legs a little out as we forward bend. Slide your hands down your legs. As you inhale, come back up to your knees with a very straight back. So a very straight back, I like to pull my shoulders back as I get up here. You want to almost picture that if you were bent over, someone could serve tea on your back. That's how straight you are when you do this half forward bend. So we're leaning forward, our shoulders are back and our back is straight. And we come back down, slide back down and relax your head. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. Slide back up, come hands behind you. We're going to go into a cobra. So our hands are holding the chair behind you. Your gaze is up at the ceiling. You're not really in a back bend, but you're pulling your shoulders back. So if you were on the floor, it's almost like the top of your chest and your chin would be up. This is a baby cobra. Now take your hands. Remember we did this with webs as if you're holding the floor and come up onto the balls of your feet. So your feet are not flat on the floor. It's as if you were in a push-up position, a plank. And now we're coming into down dog. So our hands move up the floor a little bit or the wall and our legs come out and our feet are still, our feet are out and we're almost in a V shape. Put your hands on your knees and slide back down for a forward bend. Inhale, come up to a flat back. Again, I move my shoulders back. We take our hands and we reverse swan dive back up. Bring your knees straight and come down to our heart center. So if we were standing, there'd be a position called mountain pose. Mountain pose, we are standing straight and it looks like it's easy, but honestly, we keep our hands like this with our palms faced forward and our strength is in our arms. I love to think of energy lines as if there was a lightning bolt going from the tips of my fingers across here and down here. So often I'll tell you as we do this where the lightning is, and that just means activate. So we might not be moving in this position, but this is strengthening our arms. So this is mountain. Now bring your hands back to your heart. We're going to do the sun salutation A one more time. Hands to heart, swan dive up and touch the sun, look up, inhale. As you exhale, put your hands on your knees, move your feet straight out and slide down. Rest your stomach on your thighs. Shake your head yes and no, make sure you're relaxed. On your next inhale, come up halfway to your knees, lean forward with a straight back. Exhale, come back down to forward bend. Inhale, come up, this time, hold the back of the chair, elbows try to touch, of course they can't. Your chin is up as we do a slight back bend into Cobra. Exhale, bring your hands with your webs out and come onto the balls of your feet, so onto your toes. Slide your feet out, hands come up, down dog. Bring the feet back in, slide down to forward bend. Next inhale, come back up halfway, straight back. Exhale, forward bend again. And your next inhale, take your arms and reverse swan dive. Touch the sky and bring your hands down to your heart center. Bring your hands up, touch the sky. Exhale, come back down, forward bend. Come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, come back to forward bend. Inhale, bring yourself up to plank. So our hands are in front of us, our feet are up on our toes. Plant the feet down, bring the hands up as if you were in a V for down dog. Now we're going to take our right knee and bring it to the chest. I want you to play a little bit here. So if you can take it out to the side a little bit, that's great. Bring it here again to the center. Flex the foot, point the foot, flex the foot, Bring it in a little closer if you can, get tall. And plant it back down. Come back to plank, up on your toes. Lift the hands as you exhale and bring the feet out for down dog. Bring it back and let's take the left leg up, plant the right foot so it's solid on the floor. Take the left foot up, get tall. Don't let your body scrunch down into that leg. Keep your spine tall. Take the left leg and see if you can play a little bit. Can you bring it out to the side even a little? Bring it back to the center. Take that foot and flex it, point it, flex it, point it, and let it come down to meet the right foot. I need to fix my blanket. Come into plank, up on your toes, down dog. You let your legs come out a little bit and your hands come up. Bring your hands to your knees and slide down into forward bend. Come back up to half forward bend. Sit up in your chair, put your hands up. We're in a chair pose, so we lean forward and we are planting our hips into the chair, our feet into the floor. So we're planting down, we're rooting down as our torso is rising and we're getting taller. And then come down to mountain to Tadasana. So now your torso is straight over your hips and your hands are out and that energy flow is right there. Okay. We're about to go into a flow, a short flow. So what I'd like for you to do is make sure that your blanket, I know that for mine, it's a little bit moving around. We're going to be moving our feet and we're going to come now to the edge of the chair, not the very edge. I don't want you to risk falling off, but so that your thighs, it's more like the crease between your thighs and your hips are the last thing that's on the chair. So make sure you're stable, but you'll be able to take one hip off. So we're going to start that way. I'm actually going to move the blanket out of the way. So let's start with keeping the right hip on and the left hip comes off. So just the left hip bone is off. Your right leg is bent in a 90-degree angle and the toes are facing straight to the side. The left leg comes out as straight as you can. Now you might want to keep it here for stability, or you might want to get it straight. And if you can get it straight, you want those toes. I don't know if you can see me. I may have to change this view here. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so these toes are planted almost 45 degrees. Hold on to the chair behind you as your torso is straight. Picture a string coming up and your left hand goes up by your ear or here or here. Whatever works for you. Your gaze is over your right knee. That is warrior one in the chair. You can take this hand and place it here for a half prayer, hand prayer position. Now take that left arm and wing it back, wheel it back, and your hands are out on either side. Your back foot, so the straight foot, actually gets parallel, like perpendicular to the front leg. So that if the 2 feet came together, your heel of the front leg will go into the arch of the back leg. And you're in warrior two as you gaze over the front fingers. So your front body is facing the future, your back is going to the past, and you're straight in the middle in the present. And your gaze is over the front fingers. That's warrior two. Take your left hand and let it slide down your left leg as your hand comes over for peaceful warrior. Take a deep breath here. Come back to warrior two. Now, take your hands to your waist. Turn your front, so that both of your hip bones are back on the chair, on the edge of the chair, and your feet are even with each other. Knees, you're in a wide-legged stance. Your toes are splayed out, and you're in a wide-legged goddess pose. So our hands are up like this. Put your right hand down on your knee and left arm comes up for revolved, and you look up at your left hand or your left arm if you can. Otherwise, just look to the left. And let's do that on the other side. So the left arm comes down, the right arm comes up. Let's try eagle arms here. So what I want you to do is take your right arm and just like we did before, leave it under your left and then see if you can bring the palms together in sort of a twist. If you can't get close, however you can do it, and then you raise up so that your elbows are even with your shoulders. Those are called eagle arms. We'll try this again later as we go into eagle with the legs and the arms, but whatever works, if you can just get your hands like this, that's fine. Take those arms apart. And now, of course, we have to do the other side. So this time the left is on the bottom and you're in eagle arms, great for your shoulders. Take your arms back out to goddess. Now, when we go into goddess, I just want you to notice, because this is all about mind-body connection, if your arms are down at your sides, your shoulders could be down. When your arms come up into goddess, your shoulders are actually going down your back straight and giving you a better posture. Your chest is wide. So it's called integrating your shoulders down your back. Let's turn and just take it to the right. Come back to the center, take it to the left. Center. Okay, hands back here. Guess what? We have to try the other side of the whole flow. So now we have to go to the left side. So we're going to take our right hip off the chair. Make sure you're stable. The left leg, knee is bent over the ankle, and it's pointing straight ahead. The right leg comes back. If you want to bend it, that's fine, and leave it right here. Otherwise, if you can bring it straight with your foot out in a 45-degree angle, that works. Take your left hand and place it on the back of the chair or on the back of the backrest of the chair or the chair itself. Bring your hand to heart center. Your gaze is over your front knee, or take your hand out and bring it up if that works for you. Bring it to heart center. Warrior one. Take the right hand and wheel it up so it's behind you as your left hand goes straight out and your foot, the back foot now goes so it's facing straight ahead. And we're in warrior two. Check your torso, check that your torso is not leaning forward or leaning back, but it's straight in the center, and get tall. Bring your shoulders down away from your ears. Your gaze is over your front fingers. As you exhale, come down into peaceful warrior, which means your right hand slides down your right leg and your left hand comes over. If holding your hand up is an issue, bring it to your waist, bring it behind you, whatever is comfortable, and your gaze is up at your fingers. You can't see me, but I'm wiggling my fingers. Breathe here. Take your left arm, bend it, place it on that front thigh. Turn your shoulders so that you're facing front, so it's a little bit of a twist. This hand can either come behind you, could come on your waist, or comes over your head. Now, if you notice, from the tip, my energy line, which I like to think of as like a lightning bolt, is coming from the tips of my right hand and my right fingers down to the pinky toe side of my foot that's straight. By the way, press into the pinky toe side of the foot. You want to get that foot flat on the ground. And that's activating the whole leg. So you might, if you press into the pinky toe side, you might even feel your thigh and your knee lift and your thigh get strong. Remember, think of your chest opening. You might want to take your hand to your rib cage and open up. Breathe here. Come back to warrior two. Make sure your torso's in the front. Bring your hands to your hips and take your legs completely around so that your Tush is seated on the chair and your feet are splayed out and we're back into wide angle pose. This time, if you have a block or paper towels, that would be great. Now's the time to use it. If you don't, I'm going to have you put your hand back on your knee. But if you do, place it so it's on its tall side. So a block, if you have one, goes 3 ways: tall, medium, and low. We're going to keep it on the tall side, right smack in the middle of your legs. If you have paper towels, stand them up. Take your right hand, place it on the top of the block. You can actually just use your fingertips if that's more comfortable. If you need 2 blocks, you can place another one on top, but lean forward, place your hand on the block. Make sure your back is straight. So we don't want to keep it too close to our body so we're all crunched up, or too far so we're reaching. Your hand should be under your shoulder and your back should be long. And take your left hand and bring it up, or bring it to your waist, but you're twisting and looking up at the ceiling. At the same time, you want to try to make sure that your left hip is not moving up off the chair. So you want to stabilize that left hip and root it into the chair. So in no way should that arm coming up make the left hip come up. Breathe into here. It might be a chair, but it's not easy, right? Take that left hand, bring it to your thigh, come up. Breathe for a second in neutral. And then take the left hand, place it onto the block. Make sure, check your alignment, make sure your hand is under your shoulder, that your spine is long, that your neck is not bent in a funny position, but your neck follows the spine. Take that right shoulder, move it up so that the shoulders could almost be stacked one on top of each other. Make sure your knees are over your ankles and not collapsing like mine almost just did, but stay strong. Either put your hand on your hip or behind you or up in the air. And breathe here. Place that hand back on your knee, come back up. Take the block away. Bring your knees together and come back into mountain pose. Take a moment here and breathe. Check your body for where you're feeling anything. Okay, hands on your knees. At this point, I want you to take your tush and sit back a little bit, not all the way to the back, but get stable in your chair. We're going to be doing some seated poses. So we're going to do pigeon in a chair. If you can, take your right leg, bring it to your chest, then take the foot with your left hand, reaching to the outside of the foot. Take the right hand to the knee and see if you can give your leg, your hip joint. Move that thigh around in the hip joint a little bit. The hip joint is a ball and socket joint. So we're just, everybody has a different level of what they can handle here, but we just want to, we've been moving it around, but I want you just to move it around and then place the right ankle over the left thigh. You're still holding the foot and the knee, and lean forward. And without hurting yourself, again, no pain, but maybe the edge of pain, take your right hand and press on the thigh above the knee. You don't want to press on the knee. Hold your foot so you're flexed and lean forward into pigeon. This is really stretching your hips, which we all know is so important. No pain, so back off if it's too much. Breathe deeply. Take 3 big breaths here and sigh it out. So breathe in, inhale, with a big exhale. Inhale, big exhale. Inhale, big exhale. Sit back up straight. Help the foot come down and let it reach the left one. Now, if you take a moment right here, you might notice that your legs feel different after doing that. So give it a moment. You can actually give your, kick your heels just a little bit. And then let's take the left leg up to the chest. Take the outer part of the left foot in your right hand and your knee in your, in your right hand and your knee in your left knee and your left hand, and circle that hip in the hip joint. You might feel a different range of motion than you did on the other side. And when you're ready, place that ankle over the thigh of the right foot. Again, holding right on top of the knee, not on the knee, holding the foot with your hand so it's flexed, making sure your torso is straight over the center of your body, and lean down with a straight back, so open chest. You don't have to lean far, lean to where you feel it. As you give your hip a stretch, take a deep inhale and sigh it out. Another deep inhale and a big sigh. Inhale and sigh. And then come straight, release the foot, let it meet the other foot. And again, tap your heels. So at this point, we do a little bit of balance posing in our yoga practice. And I'm going to say that if you have, if it's within your means to be able to stand up out of the chair by holding the chair, now would be a good time to do it. So I'm going to demonstrate tree position both ways. So if you can get up off the chair, come to behind the chair. So I want you to be able to hold. Since I don't know all of you, I don't know what level you can be at. So I'm going to demonstrate both. You're welcome to stay in the chair, but if not, hold on to the chair. Let's start with the right. So first, place both feet down, spread your toes, and you could do this in the chair. If you're sitting, spread your toes, get your feet into the floor, ground yourself, and shift your weight so that you're on the left foot, and you can almost lift the heel of the right foot. So now lift the heel and you're on your toes. Turn that right foot knee out to the side and slide it up the calf. Now, at this point, I know I'm doing this. I'm pressing out into my left hip. That's not what we want to do. We actually want to stand very straight, and that's why the chair is really great to hold on to. You can stand up straight and don't lean into that left hip. If you can bring it up further, and you press your thigh into your foot and your foot into your thigh for balance, and we're holding on, and see if you could hold just a little bit lighter so you're on your own feet as opposed to holding on to the chair. That's great. Or just keep it on the calf, and you might be able to let go of the chair a little bit, keeping your hand there just in case. Everybody should be safe. This is tree pose. You can put your hands in heart position, or you can bring out your branches. You can keep your hands here, whatever's comfortable, but we like to talk about the branches or keeping your hands at heart center. If you're in the chair, your feet are flat on the floor, you're digging into the floor, your toes are wide, bring your right foot up to the ball of your foot and on your toes, and then take the heel. I know that you can't kind of turn your foot out too much. If we come maybe to the edge of the chair, we can a little bit more. Slide that foot up however it works, coming up. Hold your hands to your heart, keeping your back really straight. Get tall in the torso. So you're rooting into the floor, your left foot is pressing into the floor, and your torso is rising. You can let your branches come out. You're all holding for a while, so now gently put that foot back down to meet the other and give your heels a little bit of a shake. We're going to do the other foot. So if you're seated, I'll start seated this time. Plant your feet, raise your left foot up to the toes, to the ball of the foot. Turn the foot so the heel's a little bit towards the ankle, and raise that foot a little bit. You can bring your hands here, 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 whatever works. Sometimes behind you, how about goddess arms? And if you're standing, hand on the chair, plant the right foot, web the toes, dig them into the floor, turn the foot out, and bring it up to wherever is comfortable. Take your arms where they should be, heart center, goddess arms, arms behind you, whatever works. So balance, we're balancing right now. I know as women, we know how important balance is. I like to say that one of my practices, and I know you're holding this, one of my practices is that when I brush my teeth at night, I stand on my right. And in the morning on my left, just while I'm brushing my teeth, because we don't want to lose our balance and fall. Okay, take that foot gently down. Bring the corners of your mouth up into a smile. We're almost done. Come back to the chair. I promised an eagle with legs, so we're going to do that. Come to the edge of your chair. Cross your right foot over your left as if you were sitting regularly, and see if you can loop that ankle around the ankle of the other side. Of the left leg. So we're actually wrapping around the left. I don't know if you could see it with these black pants on. Here, I'll do it again. Right leg over, and I loop the ankle behind the left ankle. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to keep my right up, standing up straight. So make sure it's string coming up the top of your head. Take the right hand beneath the left hand, twist those hands so palms meet, and you come up shoulder height, and you're in eagle. Smile, look up at the fingers. Make sure you're breathing, inhale and exhale. Undo the hands first. Bring them down, undo the legs. Give yourself a moment to integrate. And then take the left leg, cross it over the right, and take the ankle and see if you can bring your foot around to the back of the legs. Take your left hand under your right this time and twist those hands up as your torso gets really tall. You could almost do a slight back bend here. And you're looking up at your hands for eagle. Can you see an eagle in this? Do you see? So yoga positions are often named after animals. Think about it, down dog, pigeon. What are the ones we did? We did cobra. Undo, cow, cat. So we're going to do boat position. So come back in the chair. I want you to be stable. We're going to try to put the hands straight out. Look at your hands and take your legs straight out. Hold that. Get energy in your hands, energy in your arms. Take your shoulders back as your arms are reaching forward. Get tall. Release the legs, release the arms. Hug your knees into your chest. Let's do the right leg first. Hugging the knees into the chest reintegrates your spine. You can almost feel your spine relax when you do that. Let's take the left leg. Give a big inhale and an exhale. Okay, so some of you are probably wondering why we have a pillow. So now's the time to grab your pillow. Take your pillow or your bolster, if you had a yoga bolster, put it on your lap. So Shavasana, that's the part where in yoga everyone thinks you go to sleep, but really what your body's doing is giving you a chance for all of your nervous system, your bones, your joints, everything to just integrate. It's deep relaxation, and it's really important after a yoga practice that we do that. So our hands are on the pillow. It feels good to have a weighted, like, you know, they sell these weighted blankets right now. It's really good to have some kind of weight on your stomach, on tops of your legs. It helps you relax. Now's the time when I do want you to lean back, not maybe to the very back of the chair, because I don't want you to be sitting up straight. I actually want you to slump a little in the back of the chair. I can say slump to this crowd. So let your chin come down to your chest where it's comfortable and you can still breathe deeply. Let your hands rest on the pillow. If it's comfortable for you, you may want to be palms up at this point. You might want to have your hands together. This is a yoga mudra that I love, where your hands just gently hold each other and your thumbs touch. That works for me. Your feet are just out, splayed, however's comfortable for you. If you are comfortable doing so, close your eyes. If you'd rather keep your eyes open, just stare at a spot in front of you and let your gaze go almost inward. I want you to scan the body. Let's start with the feet. If there's any tension in your ankles, your feet, or your toes, relax them. Move your way up to your calves. Relax any tension there, knees, thighs, hips. So as your hips are in the chair, you might be holding your gluteus muscles. You might be holding them tense. Consciously relax into the chair. Let your flesh just sink into the chair and relax. Relax your spine, relax your rib cage, chest, your shoulders. We all hold so much in our shoulders. Let your shoulders relax. Let your arms relax. Your jaw, your forehead. Picture yourself being bathed in beautiful light. And we'll just relax here for a few moments. If you want to stay here, you're free to stay here. Otherwise, take your hands and clench your fingers, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Remove the pillow from your lap. Bring your torso so it's above your hips. You can bring your hands to heart center, which is a sign of thanks and gratitude. And in yoga, we say Namaste, which really means that the light in me sees the light in you with gratitude. And so Namaste